the lump sum funding scheme, the lump sum amount is fixed for the whole project, individual work packages, and each partner in Annex 2 of the grant agreement. It is eligible once all activities in a given work package have been completed by all partners, regardless of the actual costs incurred. This form of funding was introduced to reduce the administrative burden of financial reporting and auditing, to help reduce errors and findings of financial audits, and last but not least, to make the program more attractive to less experienced beneficiaries. As actual costs are not reported, the need for financial audits is eliminated, and the focus can be on the scientific objectives and project goals. If you are planning a research and innovation, or coordination and support action with lump sum financing, you must propose and justify the financial amount needed for its implementation. For this purpose, an official detailed Excel workbook with budget tables containing estimated costs for each beneficiary and work package is filled out. The template is available on the portal. After filling it out, it is uploaded back to the portal as a mandatory attachment to Part B of the project proposal. It is important not to use your own tables and to adhere to the required format. Otherwise, your project will not be evaluated. The Excel workbook consists of several sheets. To be filled out are the list of beneficiaries, list of work packages, sheets with costs for each beneficiary, if relevant, depreciation cost, and if necessary, any other comments. The coordinator fills in most information, and the individual beneficiaries' sheets are filled in based on instructions from the coordinator, either by the coordinator or the partners. Other sheets are not editable, are filled in automatically, and serve as an essential source of information, especially for evaluators. The last sheet contains a summary of previous versions of the Excel sheet. In the list of beneficiaries, the coordinator lists all project partners applying for EU funding and selects the relevant country and funding rate. If relevant, affiliated entities are listed, which then appear in the beneficiaries sheet to which they are linked. Associated partners are not entitled to Horizon Europe funding, so they do not fill out the workbook. Clicking on the Apply Changes button generates the individual beneficiaries' sheets. To remove a recipient, click on the Clear button. The information provided should be in accordance with the information in the main part of the project proposal, including the order of partners. The same procedure is followed for the list of work packages. The costs of individual partners will be filled in gradually for each partner in a separate sheet. Information for each work package in which the respective beneficiary participates will be filled in. Other places remain empty. In each cost category, indicate the number of units and the cost per unit in euros. The total costs will be automatically calculated. You can use decimal numbers for the number of units, but for costs, use whole numbers and appropriate rounding, as these are estimated values. Remember that the planned costs must meet the eligibility rules of the Horizon Europe program. Personnel costs are filled in according to employee categories. Senior scientist corresponds to career levels A and B in the researchers table in Part A of the project proposal, or the corresponding position in the private sector. Junior scientist to levels C and D. The division is relatively flexible depending on your practice. The number of units corresponds to the number of person months and should align with the table in the descriptive Part B of the project proposal. The amount of planned personnel costs reflects usual practice and remuneration levels in the respective organization and includes the employee's gross salary and Social Security and health insurance contributions paid by the employer. Also consider that the project usually runs for several years, during which there is inflation, exchange rate fluctuations, or salary increases. A well-prepared budget considers these fluctuations and includes a financial reserve to cover them. Don't overlook the Horizon Dashboard tool, which is used by evaluators and provides statistics on personal cost levels in different countries and types of organizations. However, take the data as indicative and follow your usual practice. If necessary, you can also use the option to explain in the comment sheet. Costs for subcontracting should be in accordance with the table in the descriptive Part B of the project proposal. If the beneficiary plans more than one subcontract in a given work package, the unit cost will be the average cost of all subcontracts, and the number of units will be the number of subcontracts. Purchase costs include travel, equipment, and other. This category may also contain more than one item, for example, several trips or two pieces of equipment. The cost per unit is then the average cost of all items, and the number of units is the number of items. If equipment is used in the project, additional detailed information must be filled in on a separate sheet. These mainly concern the purchase cost, the percentage of use, and the life of the equipment in the project. The correct value of the latter is obtained by dividing the number of months the equipment is used for the project by the depreciation period of the equipment. Remember that the eligible cost is the proportional amount of accounting depreciation, unless the call exceptionally allows otherwise. The resulting amount is not automatically transferred to the corresponding beneficiary's cost sheet. You must add it manually. If the total number of purchases exceeds 15% of the value of the beneficiary's personnel costs, the table in Part B of the project proposal must also be filled in. If relevant, fill in the costs of internally invoiced goods and services in the category of other direct costs and the corresponding table in Part B. All other costs in this cost category can only be used if they are explicitly allowed in the specific conditions of the call. Indirect costs are automatically calculated at 25% of direct costs. After filling in the Excel workbook, the budget table in Part A of the project proposal must be completed, and the requested EU contribution for each partner must be entered. Later, when the grant agreement is signed, Annex 2 only contains the breakdown of lump sum shares per beneficiary and per work package. The details of the Excel workbook are not included.